Hi, I'm Lindsay Perez with Clairol Professional Education. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about BW2 and I'm going to show you some amazing highlighting techniques that you can do using this product. So let's get started. This is my model, Kara. So when she came in this morning, she had over-lightened hair, which happens typically with our clients when we overdo the highlighting and it starts to lose its dimension. So what we did first is I put Clairol Professional Cream Demi Permanente 7N and 7G from roots to ends for 20 minutes, and we got this beautiful golden blonde. So now I want to add some lightness back into it, but not lose the dimension. So I'm going to show you a really quick and easy highlighting technique that allows you to get some brightness and lightness that's perfect for summer. So let's get started with the sectioning. And this technique is perfect for long hair like Kara's because you'll be able to see the lightness all through the ends. So what I like to do is I like to take a 1/4 inch section in the middle or wherever she parts her hair. And you're going to go straight back to the crown. It doesn't have to be a perfect straight line because what this is going to be is actually going to be like a veil. We're not going to color or highlight this section because it's going to fall over the rest of the hair and sort of make the highlights look diffused so you don't see any severe lines. And that's another reason why I really love this technique because, again, it looks more natural, but you still get that lightness that your client wants and dimension. All right, so now that I got my section, I'm just going to clip it away. And we're going to start working from the front. And just take a small section out of the hairline. I don't really like to color these small pieces because if she wears her hair back or if she likes to part her hair different ways, it might look too chunky and too severe of a highlight there. So I just take those little baby hairs from the hairline away so I remember not to work on them. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do vertical foils, vertical placement of the foils. Because again, we want this technique to show throughout the length of her hair. But I also don't want to do 100 foils in her hair. I just want enough dimension to give some contrast and lightness. And what I'm using is BW2 powder lightener with 20 volume. And this will be my first vertical foil. Again, this is with 20 volume. I love BW2 because of the creamy and stay put consistency. You can do so many things with it. Besides foiling, you can also do balayage placement highlights, which I'm actually going to do after this. And always remember to saturate your foils really well. That's what's going to give you the most even amount of lift. Okay, so that was my first foil. And we're going to continue this all around the head. Basically, you're just going to follow the perimeter of this veil till you get to the front. But I like to skip about 1/2 inch to 1 inch of a section in between each foil. Just depending on the density of the hair and also depending on how much lightness you want to see. So if you wanted to see more lightness, then you would skip a 1/2 inch. If you want to see less lightness, you just want maybe more subtle contrast, then skip 1 inch. And just going the same slicing format. Again, I like slicing just because it's super easy to pick up, especially when she comes back in for a touch-up and let's say she wants the exact same look. With BW2, I use it on pretty much all my clients. All right, so I'm going to continue throughout the head in this same slicing method. And then afterwards, I'm going to paint on some highlights. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so now that you have your foils placed, again, we just did vertical slices all around the 1/4 inch veil that we sectioned on the top. And again, the vertical slices help so that you can see the lightness all throughout the length of her hair. But now I want to add a little bit more lightness, and I'm going to use a balayage painting technique. And I like to use this little tool. It kind of looks like a mascara brush. I just like it because you can, place and brush through the hair at the same time with the product. And again, BW2, the consistency is perfect for this type of technique. So what I mixed is, in that same bowl, I just mixed the first formula for the foils was BW2 with 20 volume. Because again, with the foils, you're going to get enough heat where it'll process and get light enough. But for this freehand technique, I used BW2 and 30 volume. Because again, this is going to be just left exposed, not in foils, a little bit more developer just to process evenly. So what I did is I just took that section that's basically underneath the foils, and split it in half and just clip it out of my way. And again, I want to see more lightness in the front and just around her face. So I'm literally just going to pick a section. You can even base it on her haircut or the way she styles her hair. And I know with Kara, she likes to leave it down and framing her face with layers. So I'm just going to pick something that will be noticeable. So what I do is I just dip the mascara wand into the BW2 with 30 volume and literally just paint it on. I like to wear gloves for this technique because, again, I also work with my hands and fingers just to make sure the product spreads nice and evenly. And then just let it fall naturally. I'm going to do another one of these balayage sections in the front. And again, just run the product through the ends and then place it down. I'll do one more here, and then I'm going to take that section down. And you want to take small sections, because if you take too much, then it won't cover or saturate evenly. And you might get uneven looking highlights. All right, so I'm just going to work towards the rest of the head, mostly concentrating in between the foils and underneath. But I just want to show you exactly where I placed the painted on highlights. Again, I just kind of went in between the foils and mostly concentrated on the ends and underneath. Because again, I want that sort of sun-kissed, beachy highlights look. So I'm just going to turn her around so you can get a better look. Let her process without heat for about 20 minutes, and we'll be back. So when we rinsed Kara's hair out, I shampooed her hair with Shimmer Lights Blonde and Silver formula. This is the perfect solution to tone and shampoo the hair at the same time. So what it does is that it takes away that bit of yellow or brassiness that you tend to get after highlighting, or even for at-home maintenance. So Kara can shampoo her hair once a week with Shimmer Lights to avoid it looking brassy. As you can see, Kara is nice and light all over, and we did the combination of vertical highlighting, and then we painted through with our little mascara looking wand, all with our BW2 powder lightener. And again, the first formula with the highlights that I did in foils, I did BW2 plus 20 volume. But the second formula where I painted on the highlights was BW2 plus 30 volume. Well, thanks so much for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time.